Welcome to Wargroove. In this video, I'm going to go over every single game with my commentary from Groove of War 5's so-called Bracket of Death. Round 1, GMT. We're talking Red Jam, Spacefront, Bazik, Saikoya, Sancles, EmoTarquinChappington, Sedgehun. Oh my god, there's so many freaking players. Ash, Alpha, GMT, Lynai. This is the insane bracket that people are wondering who's going to make it out of there alive and who will not. Let's get right into every single one of these amazing games. We're going to start with Red Jams versus Sancles. Here we go. Alright, so we see that Sancles is going for P1 Emmerich. This is actually the first Emmerich I've seen on this map, and Red Jams is going for their specialty clutch twins. Red Jams has argued that the twins are not cheese, but they seem to be alone in that opinion. Their argument is this is just how you play the twins. You tempo fire the HQ and use it to counter stall. Ultimately, we'll see whether or not they can use the twins in a non-cheesy way. Alright, so we're seeing that Zeronics opening where they go for an early cap heal to get a very, very quick commander. And we see Sancles does the exact same thing. I think this is going to become meta. This very, you take your sword and then you immediately heal your commander on turn 2 kind of thing. I think this is going to be the new opening, but ultimately we see a little bit of some differences from Zeronics' plays in the swords. Taking the village out top, for example, sword into gate, that's a little bit distinct from what Zeronics did. And we see Sancles is going for pike, but actually didn't build it where it could hit the gate on its immediate next turn. They built it from the mountain instead, so that might slow the gate takedown a little bit. Red Jams gets a very early village takedown and capture and is easily controlling their side of the map. They get the rifle out and use it to capture rather than reloading or healing. Sancles is just using sword pike to get the rifle out, but the village is already captured, so the rifle's going to heal off of it. It still has a couple of bullets. The dog comes down, Emmerich comes down, Emmerich takes a village, and there's so many villages already down on this side. I've got to look at the economy here. This is an insanely even game so far. Dead even economy. Red Jam's turn, though, and they take another village and keep pushing. That Harpy on the right is definitely going to force Emmerich back because he does not have anti-air that can get there within a turn. Though he can probably capture that village, he's going to have to be careful not to put anything near the mountain because he can't stand on it himself, and ultimately it can't be defended. Not unless he can balloon the mage in range. Oh, he did. Okay, the mage is in range of the mountain. And there's a cherry stone on the mountain, on the other mountain. So Emmerich is trying to control the center area with the use of the crystal. Very nice. The Harpy goes in for the village. It's a safe hit. The mage can't reach it. It just decaps, though. It doesn't take it away. That being said, let's take a look at the economy again. We see that Red Jams, by decapping that village, is a smidgen ahead. And there's the fire. Ultimately going for that 1-2 away fire positioning that Bazik perfected earlier on in the Twins days. Very clean. Bazik might have invented it, or brought it to this level, but Red Jams has been the one using the Twins competitively. Actually, Red Jams has been the only very serious Twins player. Alright, we see Emmerich going deep. A sword going deep, staying on that Emmerich positioning, but ultimately that sword's a little vulnerable from a couple of different sides. We'll see if Red Jams can take advantage of that. Knight's coming out to go for that eventual Twins cheese. Emmerich is going to have to push out from here. The Twins might be a fantastic Emmerich counter because ultimately, when you think about it, the only counter to the Twins is aggression. You have to aggress. Emmerich is very slow. He takes territory. So this might mean that the Twins, who take advantage of stalls with fire cheese, is ultimately an excellent Emmerich counter in this situation. Getting some great hits on a lot of units, but the gains are just not worth enough. This is just basic trading. Red Jams is going to be able to push back. Emmerich really needs to shove the Twins off of this position completely without dying. Okay, putting both pikes on the crystal, but unfortunately the fire killed the crystal, wiping it out. Another reason I think Twins are just an excellent Emmerich counter. We see so much damage going in here. Emmerich might even get surrounded. Ooh, excellent knight movements. We see so much plays here. Emmerich is not going to die, but there's no way out. I think Red Jams has taken this game. ultimately, although Sancles did misplay, they were sort of forced into it. They had to make a move because the fire cheese was coming for them. I know Red Jams hates me calling it a cheese, but I feel like this was a cheese. The Twins put fire in a position where it wiped out Emerald's crystal, removed his ability to defend. Emmerich couldn't get into an attacking stance fast enough and had to just go in, and then got wrecked for it. I don't know if there's a way out of this. I don't know how to not call it a cheese. I'd like to see someone pick the Twins into Red Jams and then see if they still call it not a cheese, but we'll see. We'll see. They could be right, and maybe we just don't know the counter for it yet, but yeah, this was a very, very forced takedown here. And the Knights can still go for the HQ if they want to. Oh, the Twins are standing on their own fire, but it doesn't matter. Emmerich is so dead. That's very bold to stand on your own fire like that. Alright, very, very early sweep from Red Jams. Absolutely amazing match, amazing Twins play. I've got to say, although Red Jams made that look easy, setting up a Twins cheese, sorry, I've got to call it a cheese, that's what it looks like to me. Setting up an arguably Twins cheese is not that easy this early on. They did it in so few turns, and had pikes to defend it, knights to go in, they had enough mages to wipe out air, they had every single piece, and exactly the right number of pieces to make it happen as optimized and quickly as possible. Alright, let's take a look at the next game, where I have a strong feeling we won't be seeing Twins. I don't have access to the bans yet, but just a thought, they're probably banned here. Alright, Red Jams is going for Elodie now into Sigrid. Double low-tier play. Now, ultimately, Elodie is a Sigrid counter, but P1 picks first, so Sancles might have self-countered here. The reason I say that Elodie is a Sigrid counter is with the golem thing, right? If you both have a golem, Sigrid eats your golem, you steal Sigrid's golem, Elodie has a golem and Sigrid doesn't. As long as you can get one more kill before fighting, you're fine. Or even if you have to wait, you're fine, right? So ultimately, that's why I think personally Elodie counters Sigrid. Also of note, Sancles went for a Hyper Econ opening. They delayed their commander heal a little bit, and even delayed capturing that village for some interesting positioning here. I'm not entirely sure what they're going for. Elodie going pretty much standard, the same we saw last game, although this time Red Jams is using Pikes top and making so many Pikes. So many Pikes, this looks like 1.3. This doesn't even look like we're watching a 2.0 match except for the rifles. Sancles is getting some swords out to harass some villages a little bit, but it looks like those swords are ultimately just in the range of Red Jam's swords, so Red Jams can get some nice clean hits here. They elect not to hit one of them, just to take the village instead, reposition, just take the villages. Rather than going for the swords, they just went for economy. Let's see how worth that play was. Okay, Red Jams is now a village up on economy by the end of their turn. And Sigrid doesn't look like she can do anything about it. Sigrid is also going up the left side of the map with one sword. That is not going to be effective. Red Jams has like 3 pikes and a rifle there. Sigrid is not going to be able to do work pushing into the barracks alone with the sword. Meanwhile, Elodie has her own private army of swords on the other side of the map, and is slowly advancing. That balloon placement is going to be critical to Red Jam's strategy. Let's see where it goes. Right on the right side of the map. That's going to ward off the swords. It's going to ward off the opposing rifle. Where's Sancles going to put their rifle now? Maybe like one space to the left or something. Very bold, very bold. Look at that rifle positioning right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Are they in range of each other? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they were. He put his rifle right in range of Red Jams' rifle. That was a bit bold. It gave Red Jams free hits into all of this stuff with rifle cover. So now any swords that attack into this can get sniped. Red Jams has a golem, double golems, despite there being a Sigrid, and is pushing insanely aggressively with swords and all kinds of units. This game looks over. This game looks over already, even though it's only just begun. That's how powerful of a player Red Jams is. Ultimately, I think Elodie was a good pick, and Sigrid was not a great pick into Elodie, but I don't even think grooves will end up mattering. Look at this advance. So scary. But Sancles is doing a really good job of defending it. Taking some units, taking some gains, putting a lot of power here, making it more difficult for Sigrid to attack in. But Redjams is fearless and just attacking like crazy. We even see a pike hit on Sigrid, setting up another pike crit on the sword, but the flagstone saved it. Elodie goes onto mountain to get a free hit, and then finishes off the sword. And then takes, oh my, just think about how many different units had to move out of each other's way to make this formation. And Redjams shifted the battle from the right to the center to make it more difficult for the knights to attack and easier for the golems to get there. Beautiful positioning from Redjams. That's insanely good. Also, that rifle's current position makes wrapping around so hard. I can't tell you how insane Redjam's just solid positioning is right now. Great hits from Sancles, great revenge hits. Good use of swords to defend, but ultimately those pikes are going to be able to take out knights. Those pikes are going to get some big wins. The rifle is still in range of Redjam's rifle, and that is going to hurt. Elodie has groove, but is just going to kill Sigrid. Yeah, that's GG. Wow. Frickin' Redjams, man. This is stinking Redjams. By the way, Redjams is playing Ashe in round 2. So much hype. So much hype. I cannot wait for that. Alright, so that was Redjams versus Sancles. I have to say, Sancles did not play poorly. Sancles defended well. Sancles played well. Redjams just got like an inch of a lead and then just won the game with it every single time. Like, haha, here's my hyper-aggressive position that's also a defense that you just cannot possibly attack into. I win. Oh my god, Redjams. Alright. Alright, so that was Redjams versus Sancles. Let's get into the next match. The next match is going to be Sedgehun versus Rylexander. Now, I know Sedgehun was originally supposed to play Arenix, and Rylexander was supposed to play Bandit Dance, but ultimately Arenix and Bandit DQ'd, dropped out of the tournament. Sure, they had their reasons, so ultimately Sedgehun and Rylexander ended up playing each other. Okay, Rylexander as Nuru. This is the first Nuru I'm seeing on this map. Very hype. Sedgehun also as Nuru. I'm guessing Sedge was banned. I don't know for sure. So this is a Nuru mirror. This is a Nuru mirror on a map where you don't have trebs. Very hype. Very hype. I don't think Nuru is that good in this situation. I think Nuru is going to be a little bit weak. But ultimately, I'm really excited to see what these players do. Lots of sword openings. Very, very, very different openings than we saw in the last match. I'm not seeing that single turn cap commander thing on turn 2. So the Nurus are at 7 health instead of like 9 or 10. We see the rifles and the swords slightly different. We see the capture phase going just a little bit different, but both of them are more or less mirroring each other. Early rifle heal, early knight coming out. Meanwhile, Sedgehun is spamming the mages. I've got to say, Sedgehun as a player loves mages, and the mages love Sedge back. They let you do crazy things with heals and different units. Whoa, reloading the rifle rather than capturing the village. That is bold. They're great for keeping Sedge healthy and alive and on the front lines, changing unit health to drop things into Sedge-killable territories. But Sedgehun isn't playing Sedge, that's the thing. Sedgehun is playing Nuru. And I feel like they're playing Nuru as if Nuru were Sedge. The thing most people don't get is you cannot play every commander the same way. You just can't. You need to play every commander differently. You need to build different units. You need to engage in different strategies. Sedgehun is playing Nuru like Sedge, and I'm worried that's going to hurt them in this game. Most people have the opposite problem. They try to play Sedge like Kragna or something. Alright, very nice. Both Nurus are very healthy on Groove, and we have this sword surround on Sedge from Rylexander. None of the swords are attacking. They're just surrounding. Very cute. Very powerful. I don't think Nuru can get out of this. We might see a kill here. Lots of units are going in. Nuru takes something out, brings a lot of stuff forward. But can she actually escape? Tons of aggression on the right side of the map, a sword blocking Nuru's south. I don't think Nuru will die this turn, but that was a very interesting and very bold play. And the rifle hits the pike, so it can't be used to kill that 6th sword, and now Nuru's surrounded again. Oh, the suicide. And now I can go around the other side and then hit Nuru there. That was brilliant. That was so well played. That was such a beautiful surround. That was even better than Zeronix's one surround we saw on stream, because it was all with swords on such an early turn. That was insane. But can Nuru get out? The mage could have hit the balloon instead, but I guess they wanted to do it that way? Yeah, so Nuru could get to the mountain and then immediately be mage healed. Amazing. They were able to escape, but that was a really nice surround either way. Yeah, I guess it was either too early or they couldn't quite nail it, but that was really powerful. Really powerful play. Still, the rifle got so many kills off of that. The rifle was just like, haha, you have to fight near me. Snipe, snipe, snipe. I'm not even sure who's winning right now. I gotta check the score. Ultimately, they're pretty even. I think Sedgehun is ahead on units, and Rylexander's a little bit ahead on economy. But this is a very even game. Healing that rifle. Look how deep that rifle is into enemy territory with dogs for bodyguards. Again, Sedgehun is playing like Sedge. Lots of dogs, lots of mages. A couple of knights, because they're good on this map, but like, almost all dogs and mages. Sedgehun is playing like Sedge. That being said, I've heard folks say that dogs are a valid strategy on this map, though I haven't seen it to this extent. I don't know. That rifle has been doing work, like serious work. Knights go in, do some big damage, lots of units get taken out, and that rifle is still there. Oh, using the Nuru Groove. Rylexander going for that Nuru Groove for an archer. Oof! And it just takes that knight down. Now defending the archer with a mage, with a witch. So much power right next to Sedgehun's Nuru. I don't know what Sedgehun is going to do here. Ultimately, the problem is Sedgehun is not near their army. And they ballooned away so they could be with their army. Perfect. Sedgehun realized the problem and immediately fixed it. And now the rifle is trained on the archer, and the archer can't reach the rifle. Beautiful positioning. Look at that. Goes for a witch hex. Very bold. I don't think that mage is in range. Using knights to take out 2 villages. Great knight positioning. 3 villages. Look at that economy. Alright, so Rylexander is now 200 ahead on economy, but Sedgehun still has more units! That's so Sedgehun. I'm gonna have more units no matter what you do. Sedgehun has surrounded the witch. That is hilarious. And then used the positioning of surrounded the witch to heal their units, and then get a rifle snipe on the mage. Amazing plays. Amazing plays. And then there's this line of 4 doggos that's just so cute. It's threatening the mountain too, so that rifle has to watch out. Great snipes, big damage. Rylexander is not afraid to just hex again and again, dumping economy into damage. Nuru takes out another sword. Alright, Ryl's doing really well on economy now. This could get a little scary for Sedgehun, because if we look at this, Ryl is up a lot, and they seem to be evening out the unit count difference. Alright, they're able to take out the mage, which is very nice, and Sedgehun continues to pump out mage heals like nobody's business, and now go for their own hex. And then use the harpy crit to kill the rifle! And then the low health dog set up a crit for another dog. Oh my, this is just so Sedgehun right now. This is so much Sedgehun right now. I can't even. And then balloons Nuru right to the center of the map, taking complete control of it, and traps the harpy with dogs. Oh my god. I am aghast at how amazing these plays are. Sedgehun is doing an amazing job, but they're still behind on economy. They're just winning on units. I don't even know what to do with this information. These pikes were able to zone out these lower villages, so Sedgehun might be able to start decapping them, but there's a dragon and a lot of knights here. Those are not things dogs can kill. Finally sniped the archer with the rifle. It was waiting like 3 turns for that. Amazing. Nuru goes for a village. The knight's retreating a little bit. It looks like Sedgehun is kind of trying to rotate around the map to get away from this powerhouse over here. Ultimately, that will expose some villages. And it kind of looks like they're split a little bit. The balloon goes back to pick up the pikes, maybe the archer. The witch retreats a little bit to get out of range of the mages. It's pretty much just a repositioning shuffle. I think that mage is dead, but it killed an air unit, so it did its job. Yep, sure enough, we see the knights go in on these villages here. I've got to check the economy again. Rylexander is, once again, up on economy, down on units. They've been this way all game. Sedgehun just makes very efficient trades and keeps it worth. Alright, the rifle heals but has no bullet. It probably would have been better to reload first. Sedgehun is able to recapture some villages and gain some lost economy, but they're starting to split their forces a bit, which will make it a little bit harder to fight. Look at this beautiful positioning, though, from Sedgehun. Everybody is ready to attack. Everybody's guarded. Although I think that knight can get taken out. Double sword takes down the village. Not afraid to hurt a sword. Very nice knight slips in there for some damage, exposing Nuru on that side. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Summons a mage to kill the witch for more wraparound, so the dragon can go in. Beautiful play. That way the oh, wow. That was very solid. That was very solid. I've got to say, that was an extremely good use of Dragon and Nuru Groove together. Rylexander really pulled off an amazing use of Nuru there. Very creative groove. But Sedgehun is not giving up. Sedgehun is plowing forward, dealing nothing but damage. Still, they don't have a way to deal with that dragon, which could put Sedge's Nuru in a bit of danger. Sedge is not afraid of anything. They're just advancing, doing a non-crit dog right into the enemy Nuru. Retreating and healing his own Nuru, protected on the top by some flagstone. Double heals. Seriously, Sedgehun is famous for keeping their commander healthy with nothing but mage heals. Unfortunately, Rylexander had a really good attack. Very solid, and it enabled attacks on this turn as well. Free Harpy, attacks on the dog, Dragon can go in safely. And now Rylexander can push a little bit and start recovering the difference between them. Mercilessly taking villages. Let's take a look at the score again. So Rylexander is still down on units somehow. Because remember, villages count on units, so if they have the same score and Rylexander's up 3, then they're really down 3 units. But ultimately, up on economy, down on units, same thing. But they're getting closer. Nice snipe on the mage. Very good hits all around, but Rylexander has a very solid position right now. That dragon is something to deal with. The knights are protected by swords. And Sedgehun is spread a little bit thin across 2 fronts trying to regain their economy, putting them in a very awkward and possibly attackable situation. Sedgehun going for the triple build, determined to keep their unit count high. The dragon just outright retreats. There's too much anti-air here, but the knight goes in, gets a knight crit on Sedgehun's knight, but doesn't finish it, instead goes for sword hit on sword. Not extraordinarily efficient, but still a winning trade. Knight goes in, heals, sword backs up, lots of repositioning, and Rylexander has now taken control of the center of the map and is beginning to threaten Sedge's stronghold, but Sedge's rifle gets a free pick. This game is insane! The knight retreats and does a full heal, the sword retreats and also heals, but the village can't get it to full. Knight crit takes out the knight that was harassing Sedge. Beautiful plays, mage goes forward, but everyone else is retreating to cover the stronghold because there is a big knight threat there. Nuru's gotta watch out, and the stronghold's gotta watch out. Lots of swords and dogs being used as body blocks to protect the stronghold. Sedge had to retreat here. It's Rylexander's turn, let's look at the score. Okay, Sedge has evened it up and is way ahead on unit count. So it looks like Sedge is winning by a lot right now. But Rylexander is pressing the attack, and they're going to get tons of, even suiciding units, they're getting tons of damage. They've completely neutralized Sedge's rifle, so much damage right now. Even though Sedge was like +3 unit count at the end of their turn, Rylexander is having an amazing turn, closing the gap between them. Still hasn't closed it, though. Still hasn't closed it, but ultimately did an amazing job with this attack. Sedge has to respond or this is GG. That Stronghold or Nuru will fall. I've never seen a player be this far ahead, but, like, also be losing. This is just insane. Okay, Witch goes down. Huge damage. Harpy into Dragon. Archer into Dragon. Lots of damage on that Dragon. That Dragon is looking pretty weak, and everybody just suicides a unit into Nuru. Unfortunately, that just gives her groove. Maybe shouldn't have done that, but ultimately just for the harass, I guess. Get some more damage onto Nuru. Knight crits a Knight. Pike hits a Knight. Sword crits a Knight. The Knight still doesn't go down. The Pikes are just hitting everything they possibly can, and the dog finishes the Knight. There's so much insane damage. The balloon's just used as a body block, and Nuru covers from on top. Has Sedgehun just won the game, or is there a way for Rylexander to continue pressing the attack? The Harpy goes down from a mage crit. His sword just suicides into a mage. The Knight suicides into a Pike. Rylexander is suiciding all of their units. What is going on? Are they forfeiting, or is this an amazing play about to happen? Rylexander's Nuru Groove comes up, and it is a Knight. It goes for a mage. Tons of damage. Sword goes into mage. Sword goes into mage. There's so much damage on the field right now, and they surrender. Rylexander just could not finish the attack, and Sedgehun was too far ahead. GG. Well played. To be honest, I actually thought Sedgehun lost this game from what I heard someone talking about it, but apparently they won. Sedge in his misleading, very impersonations descripting of the event made it sound like there was a mistake, but no, he just swept. He freaking swept. Yeesh, that was amazing. Alright, insane game by Sedgehun, insane game. And Rylexander as well. Ryle kept economy all game, Sedge kept unit count. And ultimately, Sedge was able to deflect Rylexander's incredibly intimidating attack and win. Let's check out their second game. I am so psyched to see this. Okay, Sedgehun is Elodie now. Another Elodie. So far, Elodie wins have not necessarily had a ton to do with Elodie's groove. It's kind of been Merciful-esque, but Elodie's playing a Vesper. So Elodie versus Vesper, I think we're going to see some groove action. Again, neither player really going for that Red Gems, Zeronics kind of turn 2 commander heal strat. They're just going straight for the econ, just pushing their commanders forward as much as possible, grabbing that early economy, getting that extra 100 gold over the forward commander. And they've been using swords to take down the gates. Very, very sword heavy there. Although we see Sedgehun does have a mage. Sedgehun really loves mages. Like, if you could ban a unit off of Sedgehun, I would ban mages every game. But you can't ban units, obviously. Yeah, double mage. Sedgehun has 2 hyper early mages again. Like, that is such a Sedgehun thing. I don't see anybody else do that. And when I do see people do it, they lose. Like, I don't see any other player at this level of competitive play make double mages and then win games off of it this early on. It's like, you're not supposed to do that. It's early preemptive mage. It loses you tempo. But on Sedgehun, it just works because Sedgehun is amazing and unique. And they have this down, I guess. Oh my goodness. I will say though, I think Rylexander was a better Nuru last game, ultimately, than Sedgehun. Because Sedgehun was playing Nuru like Sedge. But Sedge's tactics just won the day, with just massive amounts of units. Sedgehun is basically Zerg. Sedgehun is Zerg. Sedgehun is clearly Kerrigan. I don't know what else to say here. Alright. So we see, yes, this is why Sedgehun does not go for the early commander heal on Village, because instead of losing 100 gold, Sedgehun wants to spend 300 gold and mage heal their commander. Why? Because that is just how Sedgehun does, and it works for them, so you can't say boo about it. Meanwhile, Rylexander has a fully healed Vesper and is quite happy with that, but ultimately is pushing a fully healed Vesper into an army of knights, rifles, and a mage, and that is not going to work. That being said, hold on, let me look at this economy here. Once again, Rylexander has taken an economy lead, but this game is different. Rylexander is not behind on units. In fact, they're doing very well on units now. So Rylexander is in a much better position now. Much better position. They're ahead on econ and units. But Sedge is just taking insane gains with their mage shield commander. Because they can. early rifle hit. They just attack right into the rifle. No fear, even though it's going to cost them a lot. And Vesper just face checks a knight, because why not? This is the most aggressive match I've ever seen. Both players are giving zero craps. They're just diving right in. Now Rylexander's just mage healing their commander, because why not? And using a 4 sword to try to protect the mage, but that's going to get rifled down, more or less, no matter what you do. Knight goes into backup Vesper. That looks like an HQ cheese about to happen. But I wonder if Sedgehun is going to let it happen. Interestingly enough, snipes the sword and knights the mage. That's actually correct, because that way you get 2 one-shots. I don't think the mage on the plains would have been a one-shot. Whoa, Sedgehun is just doing insane damage left and right. Took so many free kills there. But ultimately doesn't have like a ton of answers for the knight, although I guess they could just Elodie groove it. Ooh, that's dangerous. That's really dangerous because Vesper has groove and is at the HQ, and there's a knight in play, but I don't think she can clear the knight and groove. The knight chooses to take out the 7 knight, rifle on the 7 knight. Big damage to all of Sedge's knights. Lots of damage into Elodie. Rylexander is pushing back. Why is there smoke? Okay, Vesper's not going for HQ cheese. They're even disregarding their own life, ultimately just keeping their units safe around the stronghold to prevent Sedge from pushing in. Additionally, Vesper Groove does stop Elodie Groove from happening, so Elodie can't steal any unit in the smoke. She's just kind of stuck like that for a turn. And ultimately, with double knights and a mage coming in, Rylexander might have a much better defense. Trying to trap Vesper with a knight and mage healing the knight, but ultimately I think that 9 knight can still take it down. Goes for a mage heal on a sword, because Sedgehun is Sedgehun, and that is just what Sedgehun do. Ultimately, the knight does fall, meaning Vesper is free, and can honestly just stand there and continue killing things. Rylexander does more or less a full retreat, except for that one knight takes a village and gets in a good position to attack anybody who goes for the stronghold. At this point, they're just trying to stop Sedgehun from going into the stronghold, and Sedgehun is really low on units. It'll be really hard for them to make a clean attack here, and there's nothing they can steal except for that balloon, which would be funny, but I don't think it's happening. Meanwhile, Sedgehun is just moving to the other side of the map and continues to try to surround and harass Vesper, even dumping Elodie on a mountain just to get closer to the fight. The knight takes out the mage, and there's potentially another mage kill here if you want to risk that knight against that pike. Nope, decides not to, instead just sets up a good position, bringing lots of units in, balloon blocking Elodie once again, although that archer can totally be stolen. I don't think it's a good call to do so, because you'd be surrounded by knights. Nope, Sedge is doing it anyway. Stealing the archer and critting the rifle. And then mage critting sword critting the mage. Rifle reloads, pikes go in, and pike crits the knight. Excellent takedown. Then uses a balloon to shield a little bit. Beautiful. Now Elodie can't hit the dog. Backs up. Really, really, really nicely played. I think there's a knight crit on the dog, though. I wouldn't recommend going in like that. There is the option available. Lots of damage into Elodie. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Yeah, that's why I said not to go in on the archer there. It looked very precarious with all those knights. 4 knights around Elodie, and she no longer has groove. Sedgehun won the left, but had to use the balloon to make a very hasty retreat. Ultimately, they've basically traded lanes. Now Sedgehun's winning the left, but has commander on the right, and Rylexander's winning the right, but has commander on the left. Hold on, I need to check the score here. Okay, Sedgehun is actually hugely up on economy, but also has unit count. So, during all that trading, Sedgehun made massive gains, but ultimately, Rylexander has Knight Force 5 over here. Look at all these knights. Still, Sedgehun does have the Harpy up top, and a whole bunch of pikes scattered around, mostly on the left bottom, but one on the right. I think Sedgehun can kind of consolidate their lead here with a slow advance. We'll see what happens. Rylexander is archer spamming, very effective into the pikes to defend the knights, but ultimately, if you're low on unit count, it's a little bit hard to use archers because they need body blocks, and Rylexander does not have body blocks. Very solid gameplay from Sedgehun here. Insanely solid gameplay. Yep, sure enough, we get some hits on the pikes from the archers. Mage takes a free Harpy. The pike goes down to a knight. The archer just attacking the balloon because it might as well. And everybody going forward. Vesper's going in on the pikes. Dogs coming in. So Rylexander's just trying to whittle down this array of pikes so that their knights can roam free. And then protects their mage with a well-placed balloon. Ooh, but it goes down to the rifle, which we all forgot was there. Witch Hex is right in the middle of the knights, and Sedgehun actually uses a mage to kill one of the knights. Then mage heals their commander, balloon blocks, and sends it in to kill an archer. That play was crazy. And now Elodie can only be hit on 2 sides plus archer. I think she's fine, although there might be sword suicide option. Ultimately, though, I do not see a crit. Then just surrounds the knight anyway, because YOLO. It's like, I thought Shu was the master of surrounds, but Sedge is the master of surrounding things that are not your commander. Your air units, your knights, whatever. Sedge will surround it anyway. Sedge will surround everything, apparently. If Shu is the master of commander surrounds, then clearly Sedgehun is the master of being a frickin' Zerg queen. Like, I'm not even kidding. Look at this. Look at this. Rylexander, though, has done an impressive job coming back. They've evened the unit count, and we're approaching... even Econ approaching unit count, but ultimately Sedgehun is just... They have too much ground. They surrounded and killed so many units, they're just slaughtering their way through Rylexander's army right now. I don't know if Rylexander can come back from this. A golem's a nice choice, but Sedgehun is like 1 kill away from getting groove again, and then that golem will belong to Sedgehun. Ultimately, Sedgehun is just suiciding dogs right into Vesper, because why not? It'll force her to heal back up or use groove, so she can't do anything useful now. Rylexander using a 2-knight to take a village, that's efficiency right there. Kills a sword with a golem, heals a knight, just trying to wall off as much as possible. And there's that Vesper groove. It was a little bit forced because Vesper had to get back to the fight. Rylexander positioning the dog on the mountain just to cover some territory here. Ultimately, this will stop Sedgehun from attacking, except for that 1 knight this turn. But Sedgehun just taking free villages where they can and inching forward, because they might as well. Knight takes out some more villages. Sedgehun is taking control of the map. This feels like a definitive endgame. I don't think Rylexander can come back from this. Witch Hex, because you can still Witch Hex, even though there's a Vesper Groove on the table. Now, the real question, is there a kill on Elodie right now? Because Elodie is exposed on 2 sides, just saying. And there is Witch Hex. Sword Suicide, they're clearly going for it. Knight Crit. Witch Hex probably should have happened before the Knight Crit, just saying. Heal on the Golem, this could be it. GG. Oh, crap. Yeah, Sedgehun is usually a little bit better about protecting their commander, because early on they died so many times like that. But they overextended. They shouldn't have retreated all their troops like that. They were in such a strong position. They were in such an incredibly powerful position. But they basically threw it away by exposing 2 sides on their commander, who wasn't at full. There were weak suicide units nearby. There was a witch nearby. And there was Knight Crit and Golem hit. It was too much. It was too much. Well played, Rylexander, for seeing and taking that amazing kill, and for some really solid games against Sedgehun. I think Sedgehun was kind of almost losing for a large part of the first game, but it was very, very, very even, with the unit count versus Econ constant trading, but ultimately Sedgehun was able to win it. The second game, Sedgehun just dominated, but Rylexander managed to pull off a win when Sedgehun overplayed their hand. I can't make mistakes like that, but well played. All right, let's take a look at Spacefront versus Chappington. Now, Chappington is a little bit newer, as opposed to some of the players in the bracket of death. Martin, by the way, is Spacefront, for those who don't know. It's their Switch name. Alright, so Chappington going for Mountain Cap. We might see the turn to heal opening. Spacefront going for the same thing, but Spacefront tends to favor a wraparound heal on the tower. That's what they did mostly in TYM. But ultimately, they might not do that anymore, because it's a little bit slower. And they did take out that village, so I don't think they're going for it. Yeah, yep. Sedgehun went for the... Sorry, I'm still thinking about last game. That was amazing. Spacefront went for the turn 2, well, turn 3 on this one, but commander heal on the first village thing. Alright, so we have a very, very high health Valder plowing forward, but ultimately they're going to hit a village right around the time they'd get groups statically. So I don't know if we're going to see them hit the village for 100 gold, or like stall a turn and then spam dog and give them 200 extra gold and then hit the village. I don't know what we're going to see here. Probably should just hit a village, honestly, because there's just so much here to hit. Meanwhile, Chappington is going Dark Mercia, which I really appreciate, going Dark Mercia into a frickin' Valder. That is bold. That is bold. Dark Mercia is not in Valder's tier, anywhere nearby. Yeah, sure enough, Spacefront just goes right for the village and is trying to press a very early attack on the right with a couple of swords, but has a neat force on the left to defend the HQ. That gate did not go down. I'm not sure if they intended it to right now. It is at 3%, so that looked like a roll. Maybe they tried something risky and it just didn't work out for them. Meanwhile, Chappington goes for a very aggressive in-your-face heal right near the stronghold. I like that, but ultimately it does allow the village to be taken out. And Spacefront just using swords to swarm and more or less ignore Dark Mercia. Very aggressive plays with a bunch of swords. This is what Spacefront is known for. If Sedgehun makes dogs, if Khorne makes dogs, Spacefront makes swords, and Spacefront will kill you with those swords. Somehow. I don't know how, but they manage it. Full retreat to the left side. They're going all in on Chappington here, who is very surrounded and does not have a way out. Dark Mercia has to stay put and attack something. There is nothing that can one-hit KO any of those units. The dog goes for that sword, the harpy goes for that sword, the sword comes up to hit that, but ultimately there is no way to break Dark Mercia out of there completely. She has to go for the sword on the left, because that is her only option. Going for the pike is a little bit risky, because it could possibly open up a suicide, but we'll see if Martin has enough damage to make that work. It doesn't look like they do. Rifle takes a free sword, though, and they continue to wrap around, more or less ignoring Dark Mercia, now trapping her with a balloon, and Valder takes the kill. Once again, Dark Mercia is trapped, but no damage has been done to her. Spacefront is going for Surround Part 2, and more or less ignoring the right side of the map as they continue to try to kill Chappington with mostly swords. Now, Chappington's mage can get to the balloon, and does make it, and does drop it off, but Valder's a problem, choosing to take out the 6 pike instead of the sword, and then going in on the sword with the dog and weakening everything, attacking everything they possibly can, just not hitting Valder. I would have hit Valder maybe, I'm not sure though, it's useful to have the sword there. Alright, heals, we're probably going to see some suicides. There are the suicides, very nice. I think we're going to see a kill here. More suicides, beautiful. That should have happened first if you were trying to do that, because that would have been a neat 100 suicide. Either way, though, it's more than enough. Dark Mercia goes down. That last one might have been a little bit of a roll. I'm not sure if it was possible, but you might have, if you were... I don't know if the 100 sword would have stopped the other swords. It might have stopped the 4 sword, so maybe that's why they did it that way. Yeah, because if the 4 sword would have been blocked by the 100 sword, if the 100 sword didn't suicide, maybe this was more likely. Okay, yeah. In any case, great play by Spacefront. They basically kill the commander using mostly swords, which is a stinking amazing thing that Spacefront just does like every other game. Let's watch match 2 with Spacefront versus Chappington. Okay, once again, Chappington is spamming Dark Mercia, which is not advised as Dark Mercia is considered super low tier, and they chose not to ban Valder, despite the earlier game. Ultimately, maybe Chappington is convinced they can deal with Valder, or maybe they just forgot. That's entirely possible. I will say, Chappington is an amazing modder and programmer and map maker, and they do so many cool things for this game. But ultimately, this is their first big tournament, and they were thrown right into the bracket of death. So I am predicting that we might see a little bit of Spacefront being Spacefront, but ultimately this is going to be a good match either way. Alright, so Spacefront is advancing, capturing everything, more or less ignoring the gate this time. They're not really even bothering with their rifle. Dark Mercy is just going for a very expansive opening, not even bothering to heal their commander. And look, free villages, let's just take some villages. Whoa, going super deep with an unhealed Dark Mercia. I don't even know what that's supposed to do, but that's amazing. Either way, Spacefront chooses to reload rather than heal. And the swords are going forward, capturing some villages. Valder goes forward, gets a village. Yeah, this map is a little bit weird, because Valder kills a village on turn 4 usually, which is like an awkward time to kill a village if you're Valder, but still not bad. Dark Mercy just attacks a sword. She's going in super deep with so low health. I think she's dead. Is she dead? I think she's dead. That looks like she's dead. Yeah, 4 sides on a 4 health. Yep, that's kind of okay. Well, good game. Very, very solid game. Turn 5 victory. Turn 5 victory. Yeah, unfortunately, Spacefront is quite amazing at this game. Alright, let's get into the next match. So, oh dear, this next one is going to be a doozy. Saikoya versus Lynai. Now, I haven't seen Lynai before, but I know Saikoya. They were one of my most difficult matches in the previous tournament. I did manage to win, but just barely. You could say they're as good as me, maybe a little better. Maybe a little worse, who knows? But yeah, they are definitively somebody to be feared. Watch out for Saikoya. Lynai, I don't know. I haven't seen them. I don't know anything about Lynai. I haven't seen their statistics. Saikoya is one of those players who is insanely creative. I put them up there with Alsame as one of the most creative players in Wargroove. They don't have the most refined tactics. But ultimately, they will do things that you will never expect because no one has ever done them before, and they are one of the best 2v2 players in Wargroove. In fact, I might even say that Saikoya is the best 2v2 player in Wargroove. Maybe they'd have to duke it out with Sedgehun and possibly Spacefront on that. But Saikoya's 2v2 play is insane. It's not even, again, it's not their mechanics. Their mechanics aren't what impressed me. It's just they pull this insane crap out of their hat that I don't even know where it comes from. They just innovate these insane strategies and make it work. Like, I don't know, turn 4 dragon! To give you an example of what I'm talking about, there's a dragon on the map on turn 4. I don't even know what to do with that, and Tenri is just going in on that stronghold. Tenri is a very Saikoya commander, because her groove allows all kinds of cheese. Ultimately, there's no trebs on this map, but you know Saikoya is going to do something cool and something crazy with Tenri. You just know it's going to happen, because that's Saikoya. Like, you'll notice everybody has their superpower. Spacefront is going to kill you with swords. Sedgehun is going to swarm you like a frickin' Zerg. Rylexander is just going to take away your economy. Red Jams will just somehow have an army that can kill you on turn 5. Like, everybody's got their superpower. Saikoya's is their insane creativity and crazy strategies. I'm really excited to see what they do with Tenri. Lynai, I can't tell you much about. This is my first time seeing them really play. So we'll see how they match up against the mighty Saikoya. Oh my god. There's a dragon right next to the stronghold on turn 6, and it just took a free dog. I don't even know what to do with that. I don't even know what to do with that. That's amazing. I feel almost shamed by Saikoya's amazing dragon plays here. I'm supposed to be the dragon player, like dragons are my thing, but that was incredible. Okay, Lynai building a defensive witch for very obvious reasons, and balloons a defensive line of 4 or 5 pikes to the stronghold, just trying to defend this thing as much as they can. But wait a minute, let's look at the score. Saikoya is 400 gold ahead, despite making, what, a turn 4, turn 5 dragon? This is what I mean, guys. Saikoya is insanely good. Rifle crits the pike, which enables them to one-shot it. Tenri already has Groove, Slow Charge Commander, on turn 7. There's this hyper-aggression on the stronghold, and guess what? That witch can't hit that dragon because of the flagstone positioning, so it's perfectly safe and shielding for Tenri. Amazing positioning, look at that. Now there's a bunch of dogs ready to eat the pikes. Saikoya doesn't even have that many pikes, he's just got like 1. He's like, I don't need pikes, I'm attacking you. Pikes are too slow for me. Great use of the pikes to do tons of damage to Tenri. I don't know if it's enough to make Saikoya back off, though. I'm really psyched to see what Saikoya does. Okay, Rifle is now in range of the stronghold, so Saikoya is ready to go hunting. It just casually takes stuff out on the other side of the map. Heals up Tenri, and we see some dogs are going in on some pikes. Another dog goes in. Mage goes in and kills the witch. And then dog crits the pike. That's beautiful. Saikoya just got so many gains off of that attack. And is just completely dominating. And he still has an uncontested dragon. Why? Because they killed almost all of Lynai's anti-air. There's literally one mage left on the map. Saikoya didn't just kill the anti-air where the dragon was. Saikoya killed the anti-air everywhere on the map, like a coordinated hit. Lynai's already down to 24 minutes, by the way. This is just insane. Saikoya is shutting down a Valder who's grooved, like, what, once or twice? With a Tenri. Alright, here's the groove. I can't wait to see what happens. Just hyper forward golem, because why the hell not? Saikoya just brings a golem to the front lines and is dealing... Oh, I see what's happening here. Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi. Oh, that was amazing. This is Saikoya, folks. This is prime Saikoya. I didn't even get to see. Oh, that was just beautiful. All right, let's watch the next game. Let's watch the next game. That was beautiful. That was some quality gameplay right there. All right, Saikoya's going as Nuru now. Lynai's going as Wolfar. Saikoya really likes Wolfar. I'm wondering why they didn't pick Wolfar if Wolfar was opened. But they must have an idea in mind. Saikoya also is a really solid Nuru player. I've seen them do some crazy things with Nuru. Not even Trebs. No, not even Trebs, which is probably why they can get away with playing Nuru on this map. Because they use, like, some lower level Nuru stuff that does some really big brain plays and just breaks your position. Oh, Saikoya did it. Saikoya did the hyper-aggress opening this time. Alright, so lots of caps, decaps, pretty standard openings all around for the most part. We see that Lynai's pulling ahead on their turn. Saikoya's probably going to pull ahead on their turn. Saikoya actually capped pretty deep into Wolfar's territory here. Freeze the rifle. Probably going to go for rifle cap. Yep. One there that each one can cap and one down here. So pretty good. They're about even. Wolfar goes for a very aggressive one there. And then caps this. Ooh, lost the roll. Lost the roll, so they weren't able to break the gate this turn. That rifle's going to be a little bit delayed. I wonder if that delay might have hurt the economy a little bit because it prevented rifle from capturing village. That was unfortunate. Nuru takes the village, very nice. Goes for some... Whoa, just goes for a straight-up sword kill here. Saikoya being very aggressive despite the presence of a knight. But the knight chooses not to go in, I guess because Nuru is nearby, so good trade. Saikoya picks up a free sword. Rifle heals, but it's still pretty far from the front. Mage goes forward, but Saikoya doesn't have any air yet. Wolfar goes forward. I think Wolfar is transitioning towards this side of the map. Might not be a bad idea. I'm not sure about that pike positioning. Maybe they plan to build a balloon in like a turn. Yeah, they probably plan to build a balloon in like a turn, or else why would you make a rightward pike? Alright, Nuru chooses not to capture this village, but instead just uses the 1 health sword to block. I'm not sure why they needed the block, but... maybe they see something I don't hear. Could be like a Wolfar groove shenanigan they were afraid of. Wolfar going deep just taps that village. I mean, Wolfar didn't have enough health to kill it, and I think the village was like at 8 anyway, but chooses, again, not to take it down. I guess to prevent their opponent from like taking it, healing off of it or something. So lots of damage incoming on all of those swords, and Saikoya manages to surround Wolfar. And then just goes around the other way with Nuru. Uh-oh. What are we going to see here? A balloon? Why a balloon? Saikoya summons a balloon just to block more stuff. I guess, yeah, that effectively blocks the knight, so now Wolfar can't get out. And there's a knight crit set up. Wolfar's answer to the knight crit Nuru attack setup was just to groove the knight into Nuru, but Wolfar is now very deep into enemy territory. Very, very deep into enemy territory. I don't know how you're getting out of there. Saikoya set up a brilliant trap there with the balloon summon. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Saikoya's creativity makes them work even with trebless Nuru. Saikoya gets a lot of free damage here. Even if they can't kill Wolfar, they can definitely kill all the dudes. Going for a heal there. Very nice. Yeah, they're pretty much just kind of like ignoring Wolfar and just keeping him trapped and taking out the units instead. Sets up a dog crit and then attacks the knight from melee range so that they can balloon in another balloon to trap Wolfar even more. I love watching Saikoya. This is amazing. Wolfar can't get out of that. That's GG. There's nothing you can do. I mean, that was a bold play by Lynai to try to get out of the original trap, but the original trap was so solid. On top of that, Saikoya has shown so much better trading and so much better positioning. I've got to take back my earlier comment. They might have mastered some of their weaknesses and be... Look at the dog crit suicide chains. This is insane. They didn't even need the Nuru hit. Wow. Saikoya has gotten really good. Really good. They could be a proper contender in the Valley of Death. Ay, ay, ay. They're so much better than last tournament, and they were scary as hell last tournament. This is really this is the bracket of death, guys. This is the straight-up bracket of death. All right, let's check out this Bazik game here. Bazik versus Alpha. That's gonna be nuts. Wait, I just copied the phrase Alpha. Hold on, that's not right. That's not right. There we go. Bazik versus Alpha. So Bazik was one of those players we didn't get to see a lot of in Groove of War 4. They were a victim of the Spacefront Cloak and Dagger incident, despite them being one of the best Cloak and Dagger players, ironically. So unfortunately, they got eliminated out of that, and we didn't get to see them past that point. So it's kind of unknown just how far Bazik could have gone, and it's really exciting to see them in this tournament to try to take some names and kick some butt. Interesting using the pike to take out the 3 village from Alpha. I don't think I've seen that yet. Also, Tenri into Greenfinger. You know this is going to be a good match. Tenri goes for the turn 2-3 heal. Bazik chose not to, and is ultimately just going for the free with the swords rifle cap village thing. You know, I gotta wonder just how much gate rolls affect your opening on this map. Alright, so Tenri goes for a clean take of this village because it was captured. Some folks have been skipping that to avoid giving groove, but it looks like Bazik just went for it. Wow, crossed over with the sword. I haven't seen anybody do that. Yeah, he's just trying to snipe that right village. Choosing not to take this down with the sword to give Greenfinger even more groove. I mean, you could capture this though, right? Why didn't they capture this? I don't know, maybe they missed it. Tenri goes for a hit, but unfortunately she wasn't full health, so couldn't take it down despite it being at 7. All the troops are coming up, and the rifle decides to heal. The rifle is also reloaded. It's got 3 bullets. Alright, does cap this village, and Greenfinger takes even more groove. Greenfinger's at 80%. In 3 turns or another hit, Greenfinger will have groove. Double sword to take out this village, but ultimately nothing to threaten this sword so much. Tenri grabs this village. I want to see the economy here. Ultimately, they're still pretty even on economy and units. Not a lot to talk about right now there. A couple of pikes guarding the rifle. I will say that Alpha's rifle is really to the left. Usually you don't see rifles go that far left. But Bazik did position units in range of the rifle. Ultimately, I gotta say, this is not prime Bazik. Bazik did take a little bit of a break after Groove of War 4. That might have something to do with it. Yeah, that was a free rifle hit on the mage there. Alright, heals up the mage. It didn't go down. We see Golem coming out. Very nice. I like the turn 7 Golem here. And it's going to be very effective against all these units, so very nice build on the left side. Great Greenfinger heal. Greenfinger's 1 turn away from having groove no matter what happens. Unfortunately, the bulk of Greenfinger's army is here, so I'm not sure how much they can actually play with it. Tenri's retreating to the other side and using groove to... Ooh... Golem snipe. She used groove to snipe the golem onto road so the dragon could one-shot it. Really great use of Tenri groove. Especially because Greenfinger groove can't really threaten anything with that golem gone. Very powerful. That wall of swords is a little scary though. That could march forward and take villages, take names, but it needs a mage behind it, otherwise the dragon's going to be a problem. Yeah, Greenfinger really needs to get to the other side of the map, and he's in a bit of a precarious position. Straight vines. Normally it's better to have them a little bit clustered so that they can protect each other. But this was a bit of a forced groove ultimately because Bazik had to retreat Greenfinger along this way. Alright, everybody's turtling up here. Tenri crosses the map to kill a sword and is going in. Ooh, lots of big damage going in. We're gonna see a lot of units fall here. Now the pikes can revenge kill a lot of this, but the mage, Bazik did build a mage, so that has to back it up, so the dragon can't take a vengeance. They're backing off the vines, but the rifle does get another free hit. It looks like Bazik is just not aware of those rifles. They weren't in the previous tournament. I think it's a matter of not as much practice against rifles on the clock. Alright, so we see the pikes coming in. The pikes are slaughtering units, doing so much damage, tons of damage. Rifle reloads to get a good position, and the vines are creeping forward. Wait, but there are no units to support them. Not exactly recommended to use your vines so disposably. Vines are like units. You've got to treasure them and use them very carefully. Alright, the mage is protecting the knight, so if the dragon goes in, the mage can hit it. Mercilessly killing that village, risking a sword and a dog to take it down. But Alpha just doesn't have an answer for these pikes. He's got to bring in the rifle. Try to snipe those pikes maybe. This rifle's been doing a lot of work. So much work. Knight takes out the village. Sword going in. Takes it down. Dog crit. Really nice. Really nice hit. Alright, so those vines are pretty much ribbons at this point, and one of them falls to the dot. Oh, but Bazik gets revenge snipe. Now the rifles are working for Bazik. He snipes the archer. Really solid. That archer hit was so good because now the pikes can cleanly go in. And they're completely avoiding the enemy rifle. So Bazik has learned to do that really solid. Really solid use of pikes. That pike wall is going to be scary as hell. Now Tenri has to be really careful because a golem is chained to one of these pikes and there's a rifle behind it. So it'll be really hard to attack into this. But ultimately, Alpha is taking the left side. The vines actually did serve to stall. Another rifle hit. Bazik put too many units in that rifle's range, man. Really solid attacks. The knight is actually being forced to defend against the pikes because the pikes are doing so much work. The pikes will probably have to retreat, but they did an amazing job. Nope, Bazik is going forward, maybe going for a kill here. Oh, wow. This could be it. No, that wasn't a crit. Oh, it had to be a crit. It had to be a crit. Tenri survives with 9 health. Tenri survives with 9 health. Not a bad move. I'm not sure if there were rolls involved there. 9 is a lot of health. Ultimately, the mage probably should have struck instead of the pike if possible for an extra 5%. But even so, it looks like Tenri would have survived that. Lots of damage. Unfortunately, that attack left the pikes too weak. Tenri was able to heal to full. And now there's a huge force bearing down on Bazik's position. I don't think this is recoverable. Econ-wise, they're even. But Alpha has gained a huge 10-unit lead. Lots of powerful units on the field. There's the surrender. There's the surrender. Oh, I'm checking the match notes here. It does not look like there's a game 2. So that's all we've got. I think Bazik decided to quit the second game. I gotta tell you guys, though, Bazik really is an amazing player. I think they just were not practiced on this map. We're not practiced with rifles because there weren't really rifles in the last tournament. I think it just came down to an issue of they stepped away from Wargroove for a while and people have gotten really good. The meta's changed a little bit. Rifles are balanced now on crazy maps like this, so ultimately, yeah, I think that's what it came down to. But amazing plays by Alpha. Really solid plays, really solid positioning, really well done. Well played to Bazik as well. You know, they were going pretty even on Econ all game, even when they were losing units. They stayed even on Econ. Very good. Alright, so the final duo of matches we have for the bracket of death is Ash versus G Montoya. Now, Ash, as you know, was the first champion, and what? Why is that code not working? That was not a code. I think I copied G Montoya. Okay, there we go. We see Ash's Nuru, which is surprising the living heck out of me, but I'm guessing Doggo was banned. I don't know why Ash didn't play Emmerich. Nuru, interesting. I've never seen Ash on Nuru. This is boggling. I'm excited to see what Ash does. G Montoya is someone else I'm not familiar with. Godot Montoya. I haven't seen them in a ton of games. I might have played a couple with them. I don't remember exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how they pair up in this bracket of death against the first world champion. Very, very standard openings. We see Ash going for that early... You know what? So far, every world champion has gone for that early heal, turn 2, turn 3 heal thing. Every world champion has done that. Zeronix did that, Ash did that, and Red Jams did that. I don't know if that means anything, but so far, every world champion has gone for that opening. I haven't seen Shu yet, actually. I don't know if Shu went for that opening, but Shu likes to troll everybody, to be fair. I want to rewatch Shu's matches and see if Shu went for that opening. Wow, Ash used an archer to break the gate. I have not seen anybody do that. That's 500 gold. That will really take a long time to get to the fight. Okay, instant balloon, but now that sword's going to be a bit delayed. Still, though, very, very new approach. Breaking the gate with an archer. Okay, we see Godot Montoya fearlessly attacking into Nuru's sword with their sword on the river. They're like, you want to take this? Fine, you're just going to hit the village anyway. I'm not giving you any less groove. I'm going to go for it. Additionally, Ash's stronghold is kind of like really exposed right now. Like, really exposed. So they put like a lot of stuff in front of it to stop it from just falling to night crits. Meanwhile, on the right, they're taking a lot of stuff down. Hold on, I got to look at the economy here. Yeah, Ash is like kind of ahead. Ash is kind of ahead right now. Godot's recovering their villages, which is pretty nice. They're still missing... Oh no, I think they're even now. But they have to capture this one. Yep. Alright, so that evens it up. Not bad. Spreading the knights over each side. Using Sigrid's smack to protect the sword. I think Sigrid could have got groove if she didn't do that. Instead, she'll get groove next turn. I guess she doesn't need it right now anyway, so that's probably fine. The rifle did get a free mage hit. Ah, you gotta watch out for those sneaky rifles, guys. Don't give them free hits on your mage. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You really have to watch out about mages and rifles. Oh, huge damage into Nuru. Very aggressive knight. I think that knight's gonna die, though. There's just no follow-up. Ah, the gate finally goes down, and we get a rifle out. Harpy goes in. Big damage to the balloon. Very solid. Very solid. Nuru takes out the village, the archer, the mage, I'm sorry. The mage is marching forward. We've got 3 knights on the right side for Godot. What the heck is Ash doing? A 4 health Nuru. A 4 health Nuru standing on river. Doesn't matter, GG. GG, there was night crit on Stronghold. Doesn't matter if you're 4 health commander standing on river if you can end the game. Yeesh, well played. That was a hell of a snipe. It was just like, aha, your stronghold's exposed to my night crit. Cool. I will take that win. Wow. Really well done. Really great use of Nuru. You see, this is what I mean when I say that Saikoya is insane on Nuru. Because Saikoya built a balloon to move swords to do a surround. What most people do is Treb crit, or what Ash just did, summon night crit. That's a little more standard. It's still really amazing and well done and excellent cheese there. But this is just what I'm talking about when I say that Saikoya uses Nuru in a weirder way. Alright, we've got one more game here for Ash versus G Montoya. I'm going to go ahead and copy it in. Wait, is this the same code or the previous code? Nope, this is it. Alright. Alright, so we see Godot Montoya going for Sigrid again. Again, Sigrid is low tier. And Ash is once again Nuru. I would not continuously do this matchup if it didn't work the first time. But, you know, maybe they're confident. Maybe they're confident that now they've worked out the kinks, they've got it covered. Once again, Ash goes for that opening. I'm just going to call it the opening of champions because every world champion we've done has apparently gone for that exact opening. I'm not saying it's good. It might not be good. I don't know. But ultimately, we've seen just about everybody do it. Alright, smacks that early village, grabs this village, grabs that village. And Sigrid doesn't have enough health to take this village, and that village wasn't even taken yet. Wait, Sigrid took these 2 villages by herself? I haven't seen someone do that yet. Alright, Sigrid goes for heal, but it's only at 7, and this village is super low. Double sword and harpy. Interesting build. Nuru takes out a village. Goes for another village, weakening her sword a bit. There is a knight nearby, but the pike is supposed to cover that, I guess. Whoa! Ash already has groove! The village goes down. Godot Montoya has got that rifle, but I'm not sure where it's going. Sigrid just trying to attack some swords, but she can't kill anything because she's too low on health. Rifle goes in, just trying to cover some villages, and just Godot Montoya harassing that sword as much as they can. Just trying to, I guess, shut Ash out of that left flank there. Alright, Ash finally frees their rifle. Took a little bit there. Nuru, despite having groove, is just focusing on economy right now. Pike goes in. Swords go out. I want to check the score. I want to see how they're doing. Ultimately, Ash is doing quite well. How the heck is Ash so far ahead already? Yeah, like, you're probably gonna notice similarities a little bit between Ash and Red Jams, because, like, before the Red Jams Uranix rivalry, we had the Ash and Red Jams rivalry. Or we don't, and I'm just making that up. That's entirely possible. You all know I like to hype things. I like to create rivalries and things. Don't judge me. So ultimately, like, normally I say, like, this is this person's superpower, that's that person's superpower. I don't have anything to say about Ash. This is all pretty standard. Just very, very standard, very well played, very good trades. That's it. Ash is just playing a very neat and even game. Godot Montoya is very aggressive, always attacking into the commander, but unfortunately, they exposed a lot of things to damage there. They exposed a free rifle, a free pike tap. What? Surely not. Okay, I was gonna say, there's no way to... They were gonna get the double knight crit kill again. That would just be too much. Nuru can take damage, but I don't think she can die. The knight is too far away to crit her. The sword could have hit her, but that wouldn't do enough to kill. Dog goes down, did some damage, it didn't go down easy. And we see the Harpy go in on this side because the mage is too far away, but Sigrid's more or less retreating because her army is over here, and she doesn't want to be without her army. Ash is going in, takes out a village with the knight. Still doing work on the right side. Oh, there was a mage over here that could go in, and it took the Harpy down. Decides to snipe it instead of killing it with a sword, and then puts a balloon here to protect their units from Sigrid. Really well played. Another knight crit on another village. Ash is just playing really, really solid war groove. They're just making good trades. They're not doing any gimmicks. They're not doing anything weird with units. They don't have any special powers. I am seeing a lot of pikes, I guess. A lot more pikes than I'd normally expect, and they've been moving very quickly up the map. Oh, excuse me. I will say that. I was talking too fast. One thing I noticed about Ash and Red Gems 2 is that they very much play with, like, the 1.3 meta in mind. So they're moving pikes, moving pikes, moving pikes, but their pikes move across the map almost as quickly as dogs. The pikes are always useful, always where they need to be, always where they should be. Can we just check the economy for a second? Yeah, Ash is like a gajillion units ahead and owning the economy. This looks extremely dangerous, and they're continuing to heal Nuru. I think G-Dot's biggest mistake is that they keep attacking Nuru when they can't kill, and then Nuru just heals up very, very efficiently. Big Harpy hit. Was that like a max roll Harpy hit? Really nice. The Golem's coming in to do work, but ultimately one Golem and a Sigrid, I don't know if that's enough against 3 Knights and a Golem, plus Nuru's here. Knights go in, just keep taking villages. Harpy goes down. Oof, sword goes down. So much slaughter. It's just not enough. There just are not enough things. Rijams is ignoring anything he can't kill, and just like, I'll ignore you and capture economy and heal my commander again. And now there's a rifle here too. Multiple knights ink on the stronghold. I think that one's a crit, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, there's only one of them that's a crit. Nuru does not have groove. Alright, doing a lot of damage with the Golem and the Harpy, but ultimately it's just not enough. You're trading Harpies for mages while you're behind. You're not going to win that. That's minus 200, unfortunately, but I don't know what else Godot Montoya can do from this position. Just goes in. Just goes in and casually takes it out with Knight Golem. I think that was a roll. Because I don't think Knight Golem is guaranteed. It's like 96 or something, so Red Jams was feeling very confident to go for that. They were like, even if I miss and you eat my unit with Sigrid, I'm still gonna win. Damn. Alright, so that was very, very much Ash. That was very, very much the first world champion. Alright, everybody, let's talk about those games because we've covered every single game. That's right, every single game from the Bracket of Death. So ultimately, Red Jams and Ash, two previous world champions, won both their games in a very, very powerful way. Sedgehun almost won both games, but overextended and got taken out by a very nice Rylexander assassination. Spacefront also dominated, winning both games. And it looks like Alpha will also be taking 2 wins. So ultimately, the players to talk about are the 2 previous world champions, Red Gems Ash, the ranked ladder and TYM champion Spacefront, Saikoya, in my own personal opinion, although I'm the only one even ranking these, 2v2 master. And then we have the Sedgehun, Rylexander 1-for-1, but ultimately I think if Sedgehun can stop overextending, I don't know, it's in their nature. They're playing Sedge, they have to overextend, but if they can stop overextending, maybe they can make it out of this, I don't know. Ultimately, how many names did I just mention? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one of those people is not gonna get out, and we can't count out Rylexander. They did fight very evenly with Sedge for very many turns. Might make it out of here. That being said, it's still anybody's game. We might see a Sancles come back. We might see a Chappington come back, a Lynai come back. I think Bazik is dropped, but we might see a Montoya come back. It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible, but ultimately the reason this is the Bracket of Death is there are effectively 3 champions in this bracket, a ton of amazing players, and only 4 people can make it out alive. I hope you guys enjoyed these montage of games. I hope you enjoyed my commentary. If you felt my commentary was too complimentary, I said too many nice things about you, please let me know. I'll tone it down. I'll come up with all the things you're doing wrong. If, on the other hand, you felt I was too critical, hey, don't be afraid to let me know. You know, I always try to give fair commentary, say the good and the bad about everybody, you know. But, you know, if you've got some comments or questions, DM me. And if you have some comments about the videos, if you were watching and you were like, oh, Sneaky, this amazing thing happened at this timestamp and you totally missed it, let me know in the comments below and tell me who you think is going to win top tier of this bracket. Not just break out of this bracket. 4 people can do that. Who do you think is going to go on past this bracket to have a shot at maybe the World Championship? Let me know in the comments. That's all for now. And as always, welcome to Wargroove.